What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to League Week number 12. So, here we are, back on lanes 1 and 2 again. Don't know why, I don't know who comes up with these lane assignments, but I hate it. Although I managed a good series the last time I was on this pair, I didn't really have any high hopes for this one, so yeah, not very much to update you on once again. So I guess I may as well skip to the part where I show you what I packed for this week of League. So here it is. I decided to pack High Road, but it's drilled in a very interesting way. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this layout already. For those of you who haven't, the layout on that High Road is 60 by 0 by 0. Very interesting. What that does is it puts the pin exactly right on my axis point, so when the ball is spinning down the lane, the pin will practically be dead center. It won't be dead center, but it will be within like that area where my axis point is. And what that allows for me to be able to do with the ball is it allows me to play basically on this part of the lane here, like right around second arrow, so it allows for me to go, you know, kind of a little straighter up their boards, and it still allows for me to read the ball like crazy, and I don't have to worry about it overhooking off the spot because obviously the pin is right on my axis point. So yeah, very interesting. I'm definitely going to be making a video on that to show you guys what that's about. So anyway, further up, I packed the IQ Tour Edition. I felt like it was time to bring that ball back, especially for these lanes. And then, of course, my ever so trusty and reliable nuclear cells. So, after watching this opposing team during the practice session, I noticed that the majority of them, and my team included, everybody was basically on this right part of the lane, playing either in between the first and second arrow or right on the second arrow. So I knew for a fact that this portion of the lane was going to have a lot of traffic, which means that this part of the lane is definitely going to dry up, especially on this left lane. This right lane doesn't, you know, dry up as quickly as the left one, so I knew I had to be careful there. And I tried the High Road a couple times in practice, and I thought, okay, maybe we'll start with that, you know, stay with everybody on the, you know, on that right part of the lane, and then maybe for the second game make a ball change to the IQ Tour Edition. But obviously I was going to test the waters to see what would happen. So I guess now let's get this thing underway. Alright, so here we begin on the left lane as I'm picking up this High Road here. You're going to see right here, watch. See that? Straight up the boards. The ball doesn't necessarily like overhook, but I will say, if any of you, once again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I actually put in a practice session after I had that trouble with tucking the elbow in my last week of League, and I put in a practice session to ensure that I would practice tucking the elbow in again and get used to that feeling. And as you can see, I'm trying to do it here, but I'm still not 100% used to it. And you can see, because I'm like, it looks kind of, my approach seems kind of awkward. Definitely, I'm moving a lot slower, which is bad for me because obviously, you know, I will say, because I'm not used to tucking the elbow, it messes with my ball speed. Because my approach, again, it feels weird. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with me, but I don't know why the heck I'm moving so slowly. It didn't feel like I was in my approach. It felt like I was moving at a pretty good speed, but looking back at this, man, I was pretty slow. Slow on the swing, slow on the footwork, slow on all of it. But I will say, it is quite nice to see that I'm actually tucking the elbow and getting my hand behind the ball. Look at that. See that? I'll tell you what, this kind of thing is great for house shot. So yeah, I will definitely be putting together a video with this High Road because of the weird layout that's on it, to show you guys exactly what it can do. Meanwhile, here I go on the left. See what I mean? I missed left. I definitely missed left. I wasn't on target like compared to the last shot, I think. So, and it still manages to hold just fine. So you got kind of a bit of misroom there. So before the game even started, one of my good friends who's in this league, his name is Mike Romero. He's one of the top bowlers in this league. He averages like 218. And then, of course, Gary, you guys remember him. I've mentioned his name so many times. He's the top average in this league. But yeah, Mike approached me about putting up some money. Like, you know, they were doing this little thing where it would be like $5 a game, I guess. Whoever gets highest game gets money or something like that. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's $5 a game, and also another $5 for whoever gets high series. So, like, say if I bowled the highest game in game 1 out of everybody, out of him, me, and everyone else that he included, I get money for that. So it was that we were doing. So in total, it's like $20, I think. So yeah, this was definitely going to be an interesting one. He was on lanes 3 and 4 right next to me. Gary was on the other end of the building, and well, not the other end of the building. He was like quite a pair of lanes over, and yeah, it was interesting. So money was on the line here. Not a lot of money. It was only $20, but still, you know, knowing the world that we live in now, $20, good lord, especially because of them gas prices. Whew. So yeah, I will say that did kind of weigh a little bit on my mind, knowing that I could either win or lose money on this night. I will say this, I picked the wrong night to put up some money on this, because I'm obviously on lanes 1 and 2, and you guys know how I feel about 1 and 2. Even though it's a highest scoring pair in the house, to me, it's still one of the difficult ones. Here we go with the high road. Entered the pocket high to the point where I left this really strange split. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I finally got my hands on the pink breast cancer awareness spare ball. It was hell trying to get it, but it looks really, really nice. It looks even better in person. You know, I've only seen that thing in photos. I've seen a bunch of the pros picking it up. Made me feel like I was missing out. But man, that thing is actually really nice. When I walked into the place, a lot of people were seeing it and like, dude, that is a nice spare ball. Alright, here we go on the right lane. And I think that after that split, I made a ball change to the IQ Tour Edition, because it was a mental thing for me. I felt like I was just not mentally ready to play that angle with the high road, so I decided, no, you know what, I need more practice with this high road. I'm going to put it back in the bag, and I'm going to pick up the IQ Tour Edition, as you know, I felt like it was a much safer bet, because it's the IQ Tour Edition. It's a good one for house shot. I don't want to say that it is an absolute house shot killer, but it's up there with being a house shot killer. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to play it safe and just pick up the IQ Tour Edition, because I'm clearly just not in the right state of mind to be playing these angles with this high road. Alright, back on the left lane with this IQ Tour Edition. Standing on 20. And for that one, I will admit, the ball kind of fell off my hand a little bit, and I couldn't really get anything on it. When you see me, like watch, let me see. My arm was like kind of out, I think, and let me see. Yeah, my arm was kind of out a little bit there. Yeah, like that, you see? When it's kind of out a little more like that, and rather than close to my head like I usually keep it, then I know that I messed up the shot. And you can see it just doesn't get back like it should, and I end up leaving the 7. And there goes that beautiful breast cancer awareness spare ball. And on the right lane again. Really, really nice, and I believe that's, let me see, I think that's the 8th frame now? I'm not even sure. Trust me, guys, I don't have, but when I'm looking at this, the scoreboard isn't there. I have to edit that in afterwards, so I'm literally looking at my phone, because I have to actually, like, I'm using an app to actually put down all of the scores so that I can input them later. But yeah, we're on the 8th, that's another strike, and things are looking okay, but man, that back-to-back splits is really what just killed my game. Alright, left lane, no changes. Nice tucking of the elbow, form's a little but I managed to get the strike. At least we know the lane isn't totally deteriorated, at least not yet. Alright, so here we go on the 10th frame now. Working on trying to get 3 in a row. And I'm in a must strike situation, because Obviously, those back-to-back splits totally ruined everything. And although the form was awful, I fell off on my shot. I got the strike, and that's 3 in a row. So that ensures a 200 game, but not a high 200 game. I'm only going to get a low 200 game. But it's not a completely terrible way to start. Alright, and off we go. Second shot in the 10th, and I totally fall off. And I end up leaving the 9 pin. Alright, so there I go, picking up the 9, and that indeed confirms that I can only go for a 204 for game 1. Alright, and off we go for game 2. Continuing with the IQ Tour edition, standing in the same spot, board 20 to start off game 2 here. Form was still not as great, and neither was the shot as I went and missed left, leaving the 3 and the 6. And there we go, picking up the 3-6, and it's nice to see that this spare ball doesn't catch friction, because that's one thing that had me worried, is that the white Belmo spare ball works just fine, this pink breast cancer awareness spare ball works just fine, the gold Belmo spare ball works just fine, but the black Belmo one does not. Alright, here we go, left lane, nice tucking of the elbow, good form. But the ball picks up a little more than I expected it to. And I didn't notice that I was a little slower with my speed. Could only get the 1. And did you see that? I could have actually taken out what that pin right there. Take a look here. It bounces. And look at that. The way it kind of comes back. A little more and it probably would have been able to come back and hit that. I'm not really sure, but it was looking like it could have. Anyways, here we are back on the right. And again, that problem. Missing left. Not getting the ball right enough. And now as a result, I have something rather difficult to pick up. It's not a baby split because the 9 is back there just hiding. But I only just got it. Just clipped the 10. Okay, so at this point in the match, I actually decided to make another ball change, and I tried the nuclear cell to see what was going to happen because of all this thing with me missing to the left and being afraid to get the ball to the right. It had me thinking, okay, well, maybe let's pick up the nuclear cell and move left. Maybe opening up the angle will help me mentally. It didn't. But they all fell over anyway. Such an undeserved strike. So yeah, that was the theme for me here tonight. Missing left. Not getting the ball right enough. And if things seemed like they were good, I would just get robbed. But that one right there, that kind of made sense why that happened. You could see how I set the ball up. I mean, it looked like it kind of got to the right too early, and the way it just like totally lined up to the pocket for that amount of time. No way. It kind of made sense why that happened. Alright, back on the left lane with the nuclear cell. After having learned what happened, I knew I needed to get that ball just right, and I did. And I ended up getting a strike for that. Okay, right lane. Trying so hard to make sure that I don't miss left again. But then I experienced that issue again where I let the ball slip off of my hand and I couldn't get anything on it, and as a result, light pocket hit and I end up leaving the 7. And I had a lot of problems this night. I really wasn't. It was a disaster. I would either lose the ball off of my hand, I would fall off in my form. My form was terrible. I would get the ball to the right too early. I would be afraid to get the ball to the right, and I would miss left. I mean, so many issues with me this night. Okay, back on the left. Oh man. That was a bad shot. You could see that was to the right a little too early. Wasn't the lane, wasn't the ball. That one was on me for sure. I can't even keep my form on picking up my spares. Alright. I don't know. I think this is the 8th frame now. Continuing with the nuclear cell. Moving to board 23, I think is what it was. Entered the pocket pretty high. Luckily something took out the 4. And you could see, I don't know if you guys saw my reaction, and I'm like, whew, got away with that one. Oh, check this out. This is pretty ridiculous. My man David here left this split, and take a look at this. He got it. He actually got it, only just. The pin literally skimmed it from the back. Look at that. Just stunned it. Oh my god, the excitement. That was hilarious, man. Like, I can't believe he actually got that. I thought he was going to lose it, and I thought that ball was going to go into the channel, but no, he actually got that. Alright, on the left lane, 10th frame now, I believe. Another terrible shot, and there I go again, missing to the left. And I messed up on my form there, actually. I kind of lost my balance a little bit. I know it didn't look like it, but I actually did. And I thought I was going to lose that one. I thought I was going to chop and only take out the 3. But luckily, that spare ball held, and I took them all out. Alright, back to it. And if you'll notice, I actually picked up the IQ Tour edition because I thought, okay, I totally forgot to mention this to you guys. That shot with the nuclear cell, I realized there was just a little too much pop in the back end. And I realized, damn, okay, there's like a dry patch right here that's starting to form because, keep in mind, everybody, my teammates and the opposing team, the majority of them are all on this portion of the lane. So it makes sense why this dry patch was forming here. And we also have to keep in mind the topography of this lane. So this lane was totally fine. There was still plenty oil. It was here that a dry patch was beginning to form. So I knew, okay, maybe the nuclear cell wasn't a smart choice. Maybe it's time to let's just pick up the IQ Tour edition and move to the left. And that shot had me thinking, okay, it's working. So I think I have a game plan going into game 3, IQ Tour edition on the left, nuclear cell on the right. Alright guys, so here we go. Game 3, going with the game plan that I had after finishing game 2. IQ Tour is back, this time only on the left lane. And although that happened, I still had a pretty good feeling about the IQ Tour being on this left lane because of that. It didn't like overreact. It didn't have like this massive pop, and I felt pretty good about this decision. Yeah, unfortunately I ended up doing that, missing an easy spare. That is just unacceptable. Alright, on the right lane now, after that spare miss, that easy spare miss. Nuclear cell on the right, as I said I would. And it was looking pretty good. Alright, so here we are on the left lane, and I was standing on 22 for this. And it was turning out really, really good. I felt real good about this one. Alright, right lane, 3rd frame, I think. No, 4th frame, actually. And there I go for like the millionth time, missing left. And there I go, having to clean up the 3-6-10. Alright, left lane. That looked like a good one, but the 9-pin basically gave me the middle finger. All I could do was pick it up and move on. Alright, back on the right. Is as if things couldn't possibly get any worse. They did. Another split to deal with. That's nice. Yeah, so all I could do was just pick up the 2, and again, move on. Alright, after that, I then, you know, kind of realized, like, dude, this game is over. Like, my chance at a high series is so gone. And that shot right there was actually very lucky. You could see the ball lined up to the pocket for far too long, and technically I should have left the 10, but the 6 gave me some help. But, you know, after that split, I realized, like, dude, it's over. I just lost my money. I know that for a fact, especially because they announced over the intercom that Gary shot like a 289. And then Mike also was like, hey, Frank, don't feel bad. I lost my money, too. I'm not bowling too good either. So, need I mention, Mike is actually averaging 218. I'm averaging 214. So, yeah, he wasn't bowling too good on this night either, and nice to know that I wasn't alone in that. And, you know, I wasn't the only one struggling on this pair. The opposing team, they were all struggling to get the strikes together, and that's kind of a little unusual because this team is pretty decent. And, yeah, they were struggling just as much as I was on this pair. All right, right lane, 8th frame now. Terrible form, but it didn't matter. I saw that 7, and my face there, I was like, oh, I saw that. I knew that 7 was the last to go. But, again, I got some help. All right, here we go again on the left. And my man Mike right there just left the 9 pin, so he knows how I feel. Look at this. Let's go back on it, actually. He's got great form, too. Check it out. There he goes. Using the Black Widow Ghost. Too much angle into the pocket. He's just standing there like, oh, come on. See, I made another bad shot. Turned around on it because I knew it was bad. Left the 3. I had just about had it with myself at this point. Like, I was beating myself up about it. Like, why do I keep missing left? Like, I was just not in the right state of mind on this night. My mental game was a disaster. Picking up that 9. And I was just done with it. I knew I'd lost. I'd lost my series. I'd lost the chance to raise my average. I knew my average was going to suffer. I lost my money. It was just overall a bad night. A very, very bad night. I mean, this is normal. This happens to all of us, right? I mean, we all have that one night. We're all eventually going to have that one night where we just bowl like absolute garbage. And for me, this was that night. Here we go on the 10th. Horrible form. Look at that. I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that. That 10 should have stayed there, but it just gave me some help, decided my suffering was over, and decided to fall over and give me another shot. But I did the math, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to go over 200, so that kind of sucks. Alright, so here we go again. Finishing off this 10th frame. Better shot. And I made a ball change to the IQ Tour, because I thought maybe it wouldn't, you know, curve as much, and it did. It made it nice and easy into the pocket. But I noticed that shot, and it hit really light into the pocket, so I thought, okay, I'm going to move a board over and see if that makes any difference. Because I'm hitting the pocket, so I know I don't need to move too much. And here we go. Last shot in the 10th. To the right too early. Went through the nose. Leave the 9. And I could only get 198. And this caps off my worst night in league thus far. I was only able to get, I believe, 572, which really sucks. And yeah, this was my bad night. You know, like I said, we're all going to have that one day or that one night that we bowl like absolute garbage. And this night is that night for me. The streak of 600 series comes to an end here. My streak started at week 2 and it ends here at week 12. It was fun while it lasted. So yeah, that totally sucks, but nothing I can do about it. I'm just so glad that I never have to be on 1 and 2 ever again. Yeah, my mental game was just a complete disaster. It was out of whack. I wasn't focused. The ball choices, in my opinion, were still good. It was just my fault for missing left of my target so many times. Yeah, I was just making bad shots. The thought that I had money on the line got to me, even though it was only a measly $20. Uh, it made me think like, okay, I have some people that I got to beat, and there's money that I could lose here. So it got to me. And then, of course, the thought of being on lanes 1 and 2, knowing how tough they are, even though it's a high scoring pair, apparently, it got to me. So many things were messing me up. So no one to blame but myself here. And to make things even worse, Gary, I know for a fact that Gary Gardner, the guy that I keep telling you guys about, that I hope to bowl at some point in this league, he took my money. He took my man Mike's money, and God knows who else's money, and he literally just beat us all down because I found out that he bowled in 821 series. Are you kidding me? He bowled, I believe. Let me see. He bowled. Okay, guys. Here's the post. It says here, Gary Wayne Gardner Jr. got an 820. He bowled 265, 289, and 266. That is crazy. I I didn't think I'd ever like be in the same building as somebody who could do something like that. This is the kind of things that I only ever see in like Instagram posts or something like that when Rotogrip or Storm or 900 Global post honor scores. This is just unbelievable. But yeah, none of us were ever going to win it because he just if we wanted to beat him, we would have had to bowl something like that, and that is just next to impossible. So, me and Mike, we learned a very valuable lesson here, and that is never bet against Gary because this isn't the first time that he's taken money. It seems like every time we put we that every single time that money is involved, it seems like he bowls scores like these. Like I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Mike was like, "Hey, you guys want to do this whole money challenge thing again?" And he was in on it, and he bowled like 279 that night. He bowled a 700 series. So yeah, I think it's become evidently clear that we should never bet against Gary. Maybe we should just keep this to ourselves and keep Gary out of it. But yeah, I mean that dude is a legend, and that's kind of intimidating knowing and now like going into the fact that at some point we're gonna have to face him and his team, and I wonder what's going to happen on that night. Might he bowl a 700? Might he bowl another 800? Could he hit us with the perfect game? I don't know, but one thing's for sure: I'm gonna have to hit him with everything that I've got if I even want to stand a chance. So anyway, with that being said, let's now just go to the summary. All right, guys. So here we are with the league summary. I don't even want to talk to you guys about this because of how horrible it is, but here it is nonetheless. So for game one, I bowled a 204. For game two, I got a really low 170. It's my lowest score in the league thus far, I think. And game three, I got 198. The series required to raise my average +1 was 652, and good God, was I so far off. I only managed a 572. And again, far off from last week's series total, which was 644. That brings my pin total to 7,660. After 36 games played, my average last week was 214.78, but thanks to this really, really weak performance on my part, my average suffered, and I lost 2 points, so now I'm down to a 212 average. So, yeah. That really, really sucks. But I hope that is the end of my bad, my bad performance. I hope it doesn't carry on to next week, especially because if any of you saw my community post, you'll know that I found out my lane assignments for next week, and I found out that we have a bye. So we're not going to play against anybody. We're just going to be playing to beat our averages. And I did say in that community post also that this is my chance to try out these special glasses that have a camera on them. And so I'm going to be recording from my point of view. I'll also have my other camera set up just in case something bad happens with the point of view glasses. And yeah, I asked you guys what you guys think about that, and boy, did you guys vote the hell out of it. Let me actually see. The voting is not finished yet, but it's still in progress. But let's see. 86 of you have voted so far, and the percentage on you voting yes is 93%. and those of you who say you don't want it, it's only 7%. So it's becoming obvious that you guys definitely want to see that. So that's definitely going to happen for next week. So next week is going to be the bye week, and I will record from my point of view, much like Jason Belmonte did with his Google Glass experiment when he was making when he was on PBA TV and during qualifying sessions. So that should be interesting. However, I will tell you, my glasses are not Google Glass. It's a different kind of brand. It's a much cheaper brand. It's not really known to anybody, but it works just like a charm. I actually did use these glasses once before. I did a spare shooting video like 2 years ago, I think. So if you guys want to see what it looks like from my point of view, well, then you can find that video. It's somewhere in there. Again, it's like a two-handed spare shooting tutorial or something. But yeah, that'll be like your preview to what it will look like when I record this week of League from my point of view. So really looking forward to that. I'm really excited. I really want to try that out, and I know you guys are probably really amped up to see that. So anyway, that was week number 12 of League. Sorry for the very weak performance, and I really hope that is the end of that. But yeah, it happens. Everybody has an off night, and I will try to come back next week with much better performance, especially because we're going to be doing this from my point of view, and I really want to give you guys a really good performance from that. So, yeah, I'm Frank the Tank. That was week 12. I will catch you guys on week 13 next week. See you around.